see him hurt his hands? I didn't, or was his
No,
hands just hurting from holding the stretcher? I couldn't
yes,
really decide, like, did he
that's
actually
that
hurt his hands, or was he just
no,
saying, "My hands hurt from holding the stretcher"?
that's what he was saying, his hands hurt from holding the stretcher.
My.
Yeah, that's what he was saying, his hands hurt from holding the stretcher, and he kept dropping it. I was like, "How are these 2 strong men carrying 1 man?" Unless I mean, what could he have weighed, 200 pounds? Welcome to We Wine Whenever. Grab your glass and join 3 Jersey Shore housewives, Wendy, Kelly, and Lori, as they dive into everything from Bravo drama to life's everyday chaos. It's unfiltered, it's hilarious, and it's the real talk you've been waiting for, from relationship to pop culture. We drink wine whenever, and we hope you do too. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Cheers! Hi, welcome to We Wine Whenever. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Lori.
We are talking about Special Forces Season 4, Episode number 3. This one is called Warzone. We start out with there's 15 remaining. And they really do focus on her. Gia's talking to Ravi, and Jesse's talking to Ravi. And Ravi asks Jesse, what was going on? Like, he was in the news. He doesn't really know, like, what was going on with him. I
Mhm.
guess Jesse does tell him. They don't actually show us him telling him. But, Jesse again maintains that he doesn't really want this, like, to be his story, which I
Yeah, the
get.
focus. Yeah, he doesn't want it to be the focus.
Right. So today they're gonna be moving into an urban warfare area, and, Brianna in the car on her way there, she's to the challenge, she's talking to Robbie, and she says, like, "This course is really tough," but she doesn't like violence, but she really wants to finish this, and I get it, like, you go there and you in your mind, you wanna finish it, like, you're determined.
Yeah, you look at it as a challenge for yourself, not necessarily realizing the things that
Right.
you're gonna have to do in order to overcome that challenge, you know?
Yeah, yeah, how physical it is. I think the mental challenge is one thing, but it seems like from watching this, the physical challenges are really grueling.
Extreme, yeah, yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
mean, the fact that when they're doing we'll get to it when they're doing it. So, in her confessional, she talks about how she had a really tough year, that she was in a very public relationship and it ended badly, and, she's hoping that this is gonna teach her a lot about herself.
Yeah,
Had
she
you
said No, I had
you
never
never
heard of
heard
her.
of her? You didn't know anything
No,
about
I didn't
her?
know anything about it. Yeah, she said she felt like she lost herself. Yeah, I knew nothing about it. I mean, after watching this episode now, I looked it up, but I had no idea about her.
Yeah. I mean, I knew about the Zach Bryan thing, but I didn't know about the he offered her all that money. Like, that's
Mhm,
crazy.
mhm, crazy. Yeah.
So they get to the first challenge, and it's called a casualty evacuation task. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna split into teams of 3, and they have to go into this, like, place where there's gonna be casualties there, and their job is to get the casualties out and get them to an evacuation spot, safely.
Yeah, getting
Yep, get in and get out. So the first team is Jessie James Decker, Nick Young, and Randall Cobb. Jessie James talks about how she was a military brat and everyone in her family were, military, and she's
Mhm.
kind of scrappy. I really never heard of her either, but I'm not into country music, but she's a country music singer and she's there to prove herself. Have you heard of her?
No, I had never heard of her. No. No, I'm not a country music fan myself, so I had no idea who Chicken Fry's previous boyfriend was or this girl. I had no idea.
So they get in there and they need to, they discover the wounded soldier with the US flag. They put him in their scoop and they've got to get him out of there. And as they start moving with this wounded soldier, there's like bombs going off. And so because there's 2 men in this challenge, this is what I found very interesting. Nick Young and Randall Cobb. So Nick Young is a professional basketball player and Randall Cobb is a professional football player. There's
Mhm.
2 men carrying another man, and Nick keeps dropping him, which I don't get.
Yeah, I couldn't get that.
I'm like, how could he
Did you see him hurt his hands? I didn't, or was his hands just hurting from holding the stretcher? I couldn't
Yes,
really decide, like, did he
that's
actually
that
hurt his hands, or was he just
no,
saying, "My hands hurt from holding the stretcher"?
that's what he was saying, his hands hurt from holding the stretcher.
Oh my.
Yeah. That's what he was saying. His hands hurt from holding the stretcher, and he kept dropping it. I was like, how are these two strong men carrying one man? Unless, I mean, what could he have weighed? 200 pounds? That's 100 pounds each, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Come
I
on.
mean, I honestly, I did not understand it. That was kind of like blowing my mind.
Yeah, I kept rewinding it and watching it saying like, "Okay, did I miss something? Did something happen where like he put the stretcher down and his hands got caught underneath it and that's why I'm just like I don't understand what his deal is."
Yeah, he just didn't have the strength.
I guess not.
I mean, the DS is yelling at Nick and tells him if he drops him one more time, he's going to have to go back to the beginning and start again. And Nick is saying like, I'm done. I can't do it. And he does drop him again, actually. And he
He
didn't make him go
does.
back. And Randall has to like talk him into staying. He's like, come on, man, you can do it. Like, pick him up. I mean, Randall can't take him by himself.
No. And did you like how he said, "I don't want to be an army man no more"?
Yeah. And at this point, at this point, they're less than 30 yards away from where they need to go to. They're less
Yeah,
than, I mean,
right at the end. Just
like,
go.
just do it. So, he picks him up and he gets out and they failed because Nick kept dropping.
Mhm.
Listen, he's like, I can't even feel my hands. I'm like, what?
Well, then they shouldn't hurt if you can't feel them. And
Yeah,
towards the end of that, when they're getting to that extraction point, I mean, if need be, you could have put one end of the stretcher on the ground and two people on the other end could have pulled it and you could have let the end drag. Like there's other things that you could have done. You got to kind of think out of the box with that kind of shit. Like if your hands hurt, then put your whole arm underneath. Like do what you got to do.
yeah. I
Flip the
mean,
guy over your shoulder. Do what you have to do.
I know, right?
Yeah.
So then they just tell us that the next three teams go, but we don't really see them. But the next one we do see is Chanel, Sean, and her husband. So this is a team of two women and
And
one
one
guy.
man. Yeah.
Okay, so that is my first thought. Like, that's not fair. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to have to do this, right? So they're doing a really good job, but when they get to the other person, like they're struggling. The two women are carrying one end, and Sean and Andrew has the other end, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they have to bring the other person along that's walking. So they kind of put them, they lean on Andrew, but they dropped their packs, which I thought, oh my God, that's a great idea, right? They dropped,
Yeah.
which they call Bergens. I never heard that word before either.
No, I was like, okay, Birkins.
I had to put on closed captioning so I could see what it was. I was like, what is
Right.
it they're saying?
Right.
So they failed because they left them back there because they're like, yeah, the enemy's going to get your bags. And, oh, okay, well, who cares? We got the people out is
We got
what
the
my
people.
thought,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? I
Yeah, that
mean,
was my thought too. I was like, all right, why are you going so hard on them? Like I thought it was a damn good idea. You can always get another pack. You're not going to get another person whose life
exactly.
he just saved.
Exactly.
I'll take that fail any day.
Yeah. I mean,
At least I got
yeah.
the guy out, So,
Yeah.
okay.
I kind of felt the same way.
And
So
like you said, they ended
yeah.
up doing it with
Two women.
two women and a guy.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. So the next team we see is again two men and one. It's Gia, Johnny Manziel, and Mark Estes. And Johnny Manziel, another football player. Mark is a social media guy, right? And Gia, we know is Gia, but she was busting her ass, and they failed. And honestly, I think they failed because he was rushing them. Like they just walked past that casualty. They left that one person behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, and you see how when Gia says, being on the show shows me as an individual, which just goes to show you how much of her identity is wrapped up in her mom,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Then the next team is Eric Decker, Jesse Smollett, and Robbie Patel. And they also, again, three men.
Mm-hmm.
They keep dropping the casualty. What?
But yeah, I'm sure the guy had a concussion after being, he was probably fine being the actor, being the casualty out there. And then, but after all that dropping, I'm sure he's just like at least had a migraine.
It's crazy. So they also failed. They came back The DS said that Jesse, number 16, was the worst. He dropped the casualty the most, and their communication was horrible between the three of them.
Mhm.
They sucked. Those are his
Mhm.
exact words. So they
Mhm.
failed as well. Then the last team we get to see go is Cody Brown, Brianna, and Christy. So again, 2 women and 1 man. Another, like, that's tough, right?
Mhm.
We see a little bit more about a confessional from Brianna. She's the last couple of years, she hasn't been herself, and again, she really wants to make a mark and do this for herself. This is what I like about her. The whole reason she is there is 100% for herself. She is not proving anything to anybody.
Anybody but herself, which is
Right.
how you should be.
Absolutely. Because, Teresa was there for Gia, right? And we don't know who Eva was there for because we really didn't get to know
Right,
her
very
that
much,
well.
yeah.
But you know for a fact that you know, Brianna's there for herself. So every single one of them wound up failing. Not a single team was able
Now
to do
how
this
about
successfully.
that Cody? What a dick. Making
Yeah,
fun of chicken fry. That's your he asked her about what she did, and
what
she
she
said a
did.
podcaster, and he said, "Oh, that's your qualification? Well, what's your qualification, you clown?"
Yeah,
It's just like, "Ew."
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, "Ew, you're an asshole."
No, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. So on the ride back, we see Jesse is coughing and he said his breathing is bad. He feels like he's going to vomit. Then we also, on the way back, we find out how Brianna met her ex, and it was through her DMs on Instagram.
Mhm.
So it was a fast moving relationship. Listen, I think that I don't, I didn't follow it when it was going on. I did know why she was there and what her story was, that it was Zach Bryan, but it sounds to me like this guy was just a controlling, like, asshole, and she was young
And
and
yeah, so many people, because I kinda looked into a little bit after I watched this episode and read a lot of people's comments on different posts and, YouTube videos, and it's amazing how many still in this day and age today, how many people really are not keyed in on emotional abuse or narcissistic behavior or how even the brightest, strongest people can still get pulled in by emotionally abusive people because
yeah,
mental abuse is an art form, and there are people who are very, very, very good at it. And, you can think that you're the slickest cat on the block, and you could still the wool can be pulled over your eyes, and people just really don't have much grace for other people who get caught up in that. Like if somebody who's with an emotionally or physically abusive relationship, oh, why doesn't she just leave? Or
yeah.
I just find people are just not as well informed as you would hope for this day and age.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. There's not a lot of empathy out there, and there really should be because abuse is abuse.
Yeah. Yeah. So she said he offered 12.
I know.
That's a
Just to
pretty high roll for an NDA.
That is a
So
high
I
roll.
don't
Listen,
know.
kudos to her for turning it down.
Absolutely.
Kudos to
Absolutely.
her for turning it down.
I mean, on one hand, you can't. I mean, in some ways, she will profit from turning it down. I mean, not 12.9 profit, but you can't be a podcaster and be in this very public relationship and then not be able to talk about that relationship. You're really not going to have. It could definitely slow down your career to not be able to be honest and forthright about your relationship and what happened in it and how you grew from it and blah, 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 blah. But it's not 12.9 million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think and I could be wrong. I don't even think with her it was about the money. It was about her integrity and
I would
about,
hope so.
yeah, just, getting her life back and, you know, being true to what it was that she was doing and, trying to empower other women and for them not to get into this situation that she wound up getting herself in herself.
Mhm, mhm.
So, yeah, I mean, I give her a lot of credit. And that's actually who they call back when they get it back from the challenge. The DSs call her back and that's what, she explains to them is that, he offered her that money and, it was they tell her that this experience that she's going through there right now is a unique experience and it's a scary experience, but that they want her to stick with it and it will reshape you and you'll grow strong And then when she leaves, and I think that honestly, I think that that's what she's there for too. When
Mhm.
she leaves, he says, "Listen, I think like of my daughters, like God forbid my daughters wind up with some guy like this,
Mhm.
like how
Mhm.
would, how would they deal with it?" And that's the whole point. Like that was her whole point is like, I'm out there kind of as a role model. I have to, I have to go through this trauma and just deal with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and come out the other side and prove to people that you can do it.
Right. And like the DSs were saying that all these experiences are designed to like strip them of all their vulnerabilities.
Mhm. And one of the things the DS says is, which I wrote down, I thought it was really good, is like if you cannot face your demons, you cannot move forward. So the fact that she's there and she's talking about it, and that's like half the, half
Half the
the
battle.
battle.
Yep.
Right. And then we see she goes back and Jesse's coughing. I mean, honestly, his cough did sound horrible. It really
Yes.
did.
Now, do you remember when I told you last episode that
Yes.
that that DS, I heard him on that podcast, and remember he said somebody was gonna leave from a bad
Cough.
bronchial thing, so it turns out it was
Mhm.
him.
Yeah. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed that he left because of that, because I really wanted to see what he was made of, you know?
Most definitely, yeah, it would have been nice. I think it would have been good for him, and it would have been, like, it would have made great TV.
Yeah. So yeah, he has a horrible infection and they have to medically withdraw him. And now it's day 3 and it's 14:58 hours, which is 2:58 p.m. And now there's 14 recruits left. They get to the next challenge and they're going to be in the same teams as the first task, and they must infiltrate a building by stealth, avoiding detection from the enemy. So the first thing they do is they have to like get up to the top of the building and then run across the roof to get to a ladder that crosses over a 4-story building, to cross over that ladder to get to another roof, which that is a tough
Well, I
challenge.
wouldn't be able to do that. Nope. Nope. Nope, 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 nope.
That is a tough challenge. So Cody is actually the first one that needs to go over that ladder. Honestly, it seemed to me
He
like he
did
did
good.
it. He did it with ease. Like it didn't even seem like it was a big deal for him, right?
Mhm, mhm, it was amazing. I was like, "Okay."
I was impressed. Brianna, she makes it across, and then the last was Christy, and he asks her before she gets on the ladder, like, what do you do? And she's like, well, I'm an ex-professional soccer player. And in her confessional, she said she won 3 gold medals. She won the World Cup twice, and she was the
Mhm.
captain of her team for 8 years. And she had a 19-year career in professional women's soccer, which is impressive
Very impressive.
for such a physical sport. 19 years,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's no joke.
So she was going across and she didn't make it. She actually fell. So that team failed because if one of you fail, you all fail. That's how these team sports work.
Mhm.
The next one we see is, well, we see Gia first, and she made it across in her team pass, but I don't know that we saw the rest of her team do it. I don't even know who was the rest of her team. Gia was on with, I don't
I don't know,
remember.
it's very hard to keep track of it because they go and then they change it to their numbers, and then
I know, I
it's hardly
know,
ever their names, and you're just
I
like, "Oh,
know.
who is who?"
It
And
is very confusing. I wish what they would do is I wish that they had their Gia, Johnny Manziel, and Mark Estes. That was her team. I
okay.
wish they had their names on their back, like their last name, so at least we knew who they
Yes!
were.
That would be so nice.
Right? Wouldn't that be so much better?
Much
Because
better.
it is a little bit hard to follow.
It is.
So she makes it across and her team passed. Next, it's Randall Cobb, Nick Long, and Jessie James Decker. Randall and Jessie make it across, and now it's Nick's turn, and he's the NBA basketball player.
I knew he was gonna be in now. I just knew it. I could just feel it. I was like, "Oh, this dude's not he's not gonna be able to do it."
Yeah. He's first of all, he is very tall. He's freaking out.
Yes, yes.
He's freaking out. He's like, he's too heavy. It's gonna break. It's not gonna hold him. He's like, I don't want to play the game anymore. I mean, he's like, I like to be on the basketball court. Like, something's wrong with you all. And the DSs, they're yelling at him to stop joking around. And
Mhm.
he's
And go.
he's like dead in the middle, halfway through, and he's just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And he puts his like, they're don't put your hands down. Don't put. And he puts his hands down, and he He crawls across. Like, I was very disappointed. I really wanted him to try and push through it, but he just
No,
didn't
he
have it in
couldn't do
him.
it. He didn't have it in him.
He
He
didn't
didn't.
have it in him.
Yeah. And how about that when that girl Chanel went across
Uh-huh.
and the DS was saying she looked like a spider with broken legs. The way she was walking, I was like, "Oh my god." It's funny. Mm.
Nick said that, joking is his way of dealing with tough times, and you can definitely see that and even that nervous
Mhm.
smile that he has on all
Mhm.
the time.
Yes.
And when they made him stop joking, like, that's when he was like, "I can't do this." Like, that was his coping mechanism, and they were like, "You can't do that." And he's like, "Well, then I can't do this." So, only 2 teams failed, all the others passed this one, which I was happy that I feel like they're getting better, right?
Mhm. Yeah, oh, most definitely. I certainly couldn't have done it.
I don't know if I could have done it. I don't know.
I feel like I would've, like, motored through, like, I would've done whatever I had to do the stretcher thing because I could put it in my mind that there was another human being involved. But when it came to, like, the ladder thing, I'd be like, "No." I could do it if I could crawl, but
Mm.
to walk across, I don't think I could have done it either.
So and it's funny because I don't think I would have the actual physical strength to do the stretcher thing. Like, I just because 'cause I'm not strong. Like, I am not strong at all. But I
Mhm.
do think that I'm not really afraid of heights.
Okay. So
I mean,
maybe you could have done that.
I may have been able to do the ladder thing, but who knows? I may not have been. Like, you don't
Yeah, who
know,
knows? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, so when they get back, the DSs call Nick back, and even when he's sitting there at the table, they're like, "Pick up your head, open your eyes."
Now did you catch what the DS said? He said right when they were calling him in to interview him, he said, "Let's see what's going on behind those earrings." I told you those earrings were gonna be
Yes.
I told you about
Yes.
them earrings.
Yeah, they called him out too on those earrings. Yep. Yep. And then, Nick said he feels like he's embarrassing himself, and the DS tells him he finds him arrogant and rude and disrespectful. And I was like, "Whoa." I thought to myself, those are strong words.
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
actually
didn't really see him as being that.
I didn't either.
Yeah.
I did not either. The DS tells him you have to get through these things. You have to be uncomfortable to do it. And Nick says that, he had lost his brother and when he was younger. We don't know how much younger, but whatever it was, it was. And his brother was walking down the street with his baby and he was shot.
I think it was his pregnant, right? I think it
Yes,
was
his
his brother's pregnant girlfriend.
yes, his brother's
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
his brother's
and his
pregnant
brother
girlfriend
got shot.
and
Yeah.
got shot and killed, which
Yeah,
is horrible.
and he was the baby of the
Yes,
family, and that was turned into his coping mechanism, like, he just felt like he had to be the upbeat one, like, he just took on that responsibility of keeping his family together, and I just thought it was really interesting juxtaposition because Gia, being as the oldest, also felt like that, and then here's Nick as the youngest, you know, he just felt like he had to keep his family together and get them back on track and always
make everybody
smile and be
laugh.
right,
Yeah,
and make everybody laugh and smile and be happy all the time, and then he said that's why he went into the NBA so he could take care of his family and just he's always wanted to take care of it. But see, I think that's maybe part of the problem because even when he got back from talking to the DSs, he's still wanting to please somebody else beside himself.
right.
So, I hope he can turn that around and do it more for him.
No, I hope so too. I mean, even, at this point, he starts crying and the DS says, like, it's okay to cry. That's
Mhm,
vulnerability. Like, that's what you need to do. Like, if you don't start performing, I don't care because I'm going to make you go. Like, you're going to go. Like, you need to step it up.
mhm,
And the fact that it was so hard for him to cry, I thought was a little odd. Like, I guess because he's not really it sounds to me like he's not ever really mourned the death of his brother because he's always been there trying to bring up the rest of his family that
mhm.
you know?
Well, yeah, I think that that's probably something that he really has not faced. He's always just kinda brushed it under the rug, and I think that's why he was, like, so nervous going into that because he didn't want to expose he
Right.
doesn't wanna expose the hurt. 'Cause maybe
Yeah.
he feels like if he exposes it, like, it's just gonna rip open this huge wound, and he'd just rather cover it up with this smile.
Right. Right. I
But that
mean,
can only go on for so long, and then
that's
your
yeah.
shit just implodes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He did say he feels like he has a guardian angel, which he does have a guardian angel, right?
Mhm,
And
mhm.
like you said, when he went back in there, he's like, I got to pass one of these. I got to make them happy. No, you got to pass one of these for
For
yourself.
yourself, right,
You got
yeah,
to be here for you. This is why
yeah.
you're here, for you to grow as a person.
Yeah, I thought that was very telling when he got back and he said that, and I was like, "Ooh, wrong answer, bruh,
Yeah.
wrong
Yeah.
answer." Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I want to learn more about these other people. I really love this show. I love that it goes by so quick. It's like all of a sudden it's
Yeah,
over.
it's a quick watch.
Yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I listened to another Page 6 had on Gia and Teresa recently,
Okay, uh-huh.
and it was just it was a quick one, but one of the things, everyone's giving Teresa a hard time because when she came back, she said, going away is really what, made her think about family and making up with her brother, or at least moving forward. And everyone's like, "Well, you're only there one day. Like, how could you have had this?" But her and Gia went there as soon as they were allowed to go there, and they were in Morocco before this whole thing started, like getting acclimated to the time and things like that.
Mhm.
So it's not like they just showed up and she was there, a day and a half and then she left. Like, they were there bonding. My thought about that whole thing is, well, this was filmed back in June. So if you went on this mission and that's something that you really thought that was important for your girls because you wanted to prove to them, because one of the things she said was, God forbid, I have 4 daughters and 2 stepsons. If one of them weren't talking and there was a rift in the family, like, I would want them to make up, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So she's like, you have to be the bigger person. Well, why? I mean, it's now October. Like, you still haven't made up with them. So like, this was in June.
Yeah, well, I don't think the epiphany was that large.
No, I don't think it was either. I don't think it was either. I don't think it was another question they asked her was, "Who of your castmates would be, that you think would do good on special forces?" And Teresa said, Jennifer Aiden. I was like, "Well,
What?
I mean."
No. Look, the girl can't handle a tuna sandwich made wrong. I don't think
I know.
no.
I would have said Dolores. I think Dolores
Well, I
of
think probably Dolores woulda kicked some ass, yeah.
I think
Dolores
Dolores
from
would have.
Patterson, I
Yes,
think
I think
she
Dolores
would've
would have.
pulled it out, yeah.
Yeah. And then Gia said, Ariana from her cast, she thought would be able to do it. And the rest of them, there's no way that they could do it. And I 100% agree with her too. I think
Mhm,
Ariana, out
mhm.
of all of the next gen ones,
The
she
next
would
gen
be the.
ones, yeah.
Yeah. So, do you have anything else to add to this, or?
No, I just really like finding out about the characters and what makes them tick, and
Yeah, I do
I
too.
just really enjoy that part of the show.
Yeah, I do too. You know what I would like for them to do, and they probably won't, but I would like for them, like, have like a reunion after they
Yeah,
do this whole
that would be
thing.
nice.
I would like for them to all come back on a stage and sit down and talk to each other and,
About
like,
their experiences and where they're at now, and
yes.
yeah, I think that would be a great idea.
Yeah,
Very
I
good
would
idea, but we know production never listens to anything we have to say, even though
no, no, they don't.
we have banging ideas, but
We do.
whatevs. Whatevs.
So until next time, thank you for watching and listening. Please subscribe and give us 5-star reviews. Bye.
Bye.